It's a beautiful morning out here on the deck. I've got some herbs here in pots, and in particular I've got this parsley. Parsley is of course, widely used herb. It's quite a popular herb to use. This guy's a real easy to grow plant. If you live in a climate that's 50 to 70 degrees, you've got some potting soil, a pot, and a parsley seedling or some seeds, I think you'll find you have a considerable amount of success growing this plant and having a fresh herb on hand to use for your cooking. So I think this guy, as you can see, is starting to go to seed. So most herbs are cyclical. They'll grow, they'll peter out, you cut them down, and then they'll usually come back for the next season. But this guy was real easy. We bought him as a seedling a while ago and just planted him in this pot and let him go. And at this point I think this is maybe about 4 months of growth. One of the reasons why I really like putting parsley and most of my herbs in pots. There's some marjoram there, some mint, some thyme. I like to put them in pots for several reasons. One is the mobility. So if this guy is getting too much sun, let's say parsley is full sun and sometimes partial shade depending on your area, you have the mobility to just kind of grab it and move it around, find a place that's more conducive to the growth of the plant. The other thing that I really like about putting these in pots is that you're going to get plenty of growth for what you're going to need for your garden. I don't think you're going to have a size limiting factor with the pot, and you can move this pot indoors if it gets cold out, or if you want to bring it a little closer to your cooking. As long as it gets some sunlight, it'll do fine indoors as well. So you've got the mobility. I've got this plant right next to the door to our kitchen, so while I'm cooking and I need some parsley, I can just come out here and grab a couple of twigs and snap them off and continue on with my cooking. And I think just in general, having fresh herbs is a really efficient way to utilize herbs for your cooking, because you only use what you need. So let's say, for example, if I wanted to come out here and I needed a few herbs, I just come out here and snap off a couple of sprigs. Now if I had to buy this, I'd have to go to the store, I'd have to buy a whole bunch. I'd use my 5, 6, 7 sprigs for my recipe, and then that parsley is going to sit in the fridge for another 2 weeks. It'll get wilty, old, and then I end up throwing it out. So having fresh herbs on hand is a really nice way to not have to be throwing out stuff. You always have it on hand. They're easy to care for, and just really nice to have the fresh stuff close by when you're doing your cooking. It really enhances the flavor of your meals. So that's a little bit about this parsley plant and our herbs. I'm growing them in pots, and so go out there and plant something.